Okay, so I've been hearing a lot of talk about the presidential debate, and honestly, I'm not really even surprised. Like, not many people even watched it. It only has like 19 million views, and it's been almost 2 weeks now. This was the presidential debate, and most people didn't even find it worth watching, which really says a lot, you know? Because, I mean, that's sad, you know. Back when people like Obama were running for president, it was it came with like a spirit and an incentive that things were progressing right now. And with what we have today, I mean, we have the we when we really did bring this upon ourselves, when we sat there and we voted for Biden, and Biden really wasn't shit, and Trump wasn't really shit either. Take two. We're going to react to the presidential debate. I heard it was a whole lot of dog shit, and people were just like, no, this is. Well, I guess nobody was really like in delusion to it because it's like, look, man, this isn't a game. This isn't something you can just try to trick yourself into believing in just didn't happen the way a lot of people do nowadays. This is literally our choices right now in America, whether to go with Biden or to go with Trump. And I mean, neither of them are suitable for the presidency. Like, both of them, and this is where both of them, like, really fuck up. It's a lack of respect when it comes to Trump. It's like people can't respect you if you have actual footage of you talking about molesting women or harassing women, grabbing them by the pussy and flaunting that as the president. That's not suitable for presidency. That's not we can't trust that. And he has this whole project 2025 that's literally apparently pointing it in his favor because, well, Biden is just a sheep up there and is mentally ill, you know? But that's just from what I've been hearing. And yeah, let's just get into it. Let's see what either has to say about each other, whether or not their points are actually valid, or, you know, if they live up to any of those criteria, such as respect and intelligence. But it's not going to make it cheaper either, so it's not even for us, it's for something we don't even want to tie ourselves to. Yep, yep. And that's facts. Wow. He looks like a giant frog. And he looks like a ghost. And this guy looks like somebody off of American Horror Story. Wow, that really is his fucking hair. It looks like a gray cloud. Just that motherfucker is see through, bruh. Yo, oh my god, bro. Just cut it all off, dude. Look at Biden. He's like, oh no, the fuck you didn't. Lies. Lies. Look at him. Straight up. It's funny how he's talking about all that what he did. Oh, let me fix this camera. And that is true, dude. Like, I mean, ever since we lost the like national GDP, I believe, which is like it's supposed to stand for something with money to do with it. I don't know what the fuck it stands for, but it's a part of the economy. And apparently it's supposed to mean that we have the most money. And recently that has fallen due to a lack of employees at jobs. It's hard to get a job out here. Inflation. You know, Biden sort of just let the whole thing slip anyways. You know, he didn't do anything that was significant or major that really affected the country. It all stayed the exact same. It was such a stale type of feeling. It's a stale feeling with him as presidency. We can't have that as we can't. That's not something we can go with. At least with Trump, you would get some type of color, but I just don't want blood to be one of them. Because he'd be the only one really prepared for a war, honestly. Biden probably wouldn't find out till after somebody gets bombed the next day. You know? So, I mean, what are we to do? Wow. And the only reason why he's winning is because now he knows he is better than Biden. Jesus. Jesus. Joe. Joe. Oh. So if you, yeah, oh, 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 Jesus. Yeah. I know it's like me to laugh, but dude, you are. We wouldn't be able to bring you to China to give them some motivational speech. Like, you're not fit anymore, man. Like I told you, this nigga came up and he looked like a ghost from the fucking get go. Like, this nigga is he won't make it through the next 4 years if he's elected president. And I'm not sure if that's really a good alternative either, to be honest. I don't know who the baton would get passed down to, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like we'd be liable without a president. And honestly, I feel like we would be okay without a president. You know, the president is literally more of just a puppet to distract people, to get everybody's attention, which is literally what Trump is playing at. You know, he's to get everybody's attention. And the first thing he said after Biden got done with saying what he was saying was that they beat Medicare to death, which is what Joe Biden was saying. That's how he's trying to get your attention, by staying funny. And honestly, it kind of does work, but he's not respectable. Like I said from the beginning, he wouldn't be a respected president at all because of how he handles things, because he's more of a businessman. You know, he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and when you're walking around talking about grabbing women by the pussy, you think that you are above everybody in that way, and that you would be completely self-absorbed. And that's like the downfall to it. You know, the last 4 years wasn't just Joe Biden's fault. It was our fault as the people, which I don't think a lot of people tend to really look at like that. But you are the ones that voted for that fucking ghost, that fucking used tissue for a president. And Trump is literally just a tyrant. That nigga, I mean, if World War III were to break out, I wouldn't want to use tissue to hide behind. I'd want somebody who takes war seriously. Not that I think Trump would be able to either. I feel like that'd be too big for somebody as old as him. I'm not entirely sure, and I don't want to jump to any types of conclusions, but or make any sort of accusations. Sorry, but I'm just saying, like neither of them are fit to be president. And that's completely facts. You know, America's always trying to be the police of the world, to organize things correctly, but it's not like they have the right ideal. They don't come with the right intentions, nor do they come with the right incentive. Because if it were up to them, this whole world would be bland and would be full of nothing but work and women and money and food. And that's literally what anybody out here would be able to live up to. And it is fucked up on so many levels. But I mean, that's true. Like, our country is not, I mean, we really do take advantage of it. We really do. But it's just whack right now. It's so fucking whack. And it's whack because people don't try. That's the only reason why it's so whack. It's not whack because of the prices. It's not whack because of the president. It's not whack because of politics. It's not whack because of any of that. It's whack because the people hear about all this and still choose to do nothing. And because the government no longer knows how to read its people, how to produce some types of goods, some types of means of any production of means that, entertains the people, or feeds the people, or it's no longer obligated to taking care of us in that way, or at least that's what I'm picking up out of this, that it no longer obligates itself to the people. And well, if we really do want that change, we really have to vote. Okay, so that was a lot. what he just said right there, especially about abortions and, the rape, incest thing. And I mean, those are plausible reasons for women to get abortions. You do not need to have that baby. But in all honesty, I feel like, well, nah, that's just their choice. I mean, that is their choice, but I feel like they're placing their own personal desires over human life, which is why it's always struck us as so inhumane, especially us men. We don't even go through the pain, yet we're sitting there like, nah, you're gonna have that baby, damn it. And that's fucked up. Because, I mean, it is their body, and unless she, like, actually loves you and you actually take care of her, I feel like she would, like, only then. You have to make it so she doesn't have a reason to get that abortion. If it started off as rape or incest or anything like that, because, I mean, women want to be mothers, too. It's not like they're entirely against the whole ordeal. It's just that, like, under certain conditions, it's a fucked up choice. Under certain conditions, it's the right one. So, I mean, there's all types of ambiguity to it. A lot of context that just needs to be taken into account. And whether or not what's taken into account is factual. Because it could have been like consensual sex, and then months down the road, she switches up the narrative and says it's a rape instead, and you know, so that's just diving into more of like the justice system, I suppose, and how fucked up false accusations are. But let's proceed. Okay, but why did he have to come out so rough though? Like, damn, dude. Like, oh, I supported Roe v. Wade. Like, okay, like if we knew that, you wouldn't feel so passionate about saying it that way. We're literally barely 20 minutes into the video, and neither side is convincing. Like, neither side is intriguing in any way. None of them are persuasive. None of it is respectful. They are only using points that they've created to attack the other rather than to actually compose themselves with any type of decency or integrity or any type of respect. Neither of them are doing that. They're both just calling each other out for their flaws and their errors, and they're not really even taking the other person slowly. It's a rigid debate. It's so fucking torn apart. I don't know how this could have happened. Wow. I told you, dude. Like, I mean, you have to learn to call them out respectfully. You see, that's why Trump. That's why nobody really wants to vote for him, but it's sort of like we're forced to. That's the situation here. Because he's not respectable at all. Even towards his opponents, you should always conduct and compose of some type of respect for the one person who you have to beat to give you all that you could want. And they want it just as badly as you do. It's how they got here. But looking at this right now, Biden only got in because he was Obama's vice president, I'm pretty sure. I think that was the only reason why. But even though he had that type of insight, he didn't age too well. At least Trump actually has his head on his shoulders. Like, I mean, it just comes back to that debate. You know, one's a vegetable, the other is a tyrant. And if we were to go to World War III, who would be better to have? You know? I mean, would you want broccoli as a shield, or would you want a tyrant, somebody who could actually, fight to do that? But that's just where we're at. This is getting super hard to watch. I mean, Biden deadass just brings me down. Every time he like opens his mouth, every time he says anything, I'm like, yo, how did you ever get in office? And that was because when I was voting, I didn't vote for either of them. I voted for fucking Kanye West because I was stupid. It was my first time ever voting, and yeah, that was just my first time voting, and I didn't trust either side. I just didn't. I grew up like under a lot of people who were entirely against Trump because I come from a family that it prioritizes respect above all other aspects of things, except for maybe love. Except for love. But respect is definitely a part of like our criteria and our like perspective on social dynamics. But when it comes to, Trump again, it's not like you can really respect him. And that's literally this whole debate. It's just we can't respect Trump, but he's what we're gonna have to go with. And it's not. I don't think it's gonna be hard. Like I was just like, okay, some dude at work got me into thinking about that guy because he really did go to North Korea. He talked to Kim Jong Un in an attempt to try to end what he was doing over there. He tried to make peace with the enemy, which honestly, no other president had ever done that. Not to mention, he had never started a war. A war never happened under his presidency. It almost did, but it never did.